As a Vice Chancellor of University of Delhi, I am very happy that FMS has organized a conference on a very, very important, relevant, and prevalent topic: disruptive technologies and business resilience. FMS is a premier institution. They should discuss, debate, deliberate on different aspects of the two words which are mentioned here. One is disruptive technologies, another is business resilience. Yesterday, I was a little bit confused. Like, what is the meaning of this disruptive technologies? Different interpretations are available, but fortunately, when I Googled, I got a definition coined by Professor Clayton Christensen, professor of Harvard Business School, American academic and business consultant. He coined this definition, which I thought is a very, very appropriate definition. I would like to quote. A disruptive technology is an innovation that significantly alters or entirely replaces established industries, products or consumer behavior, often by making services more accessible, affordable, and efficient. So this term is rightly coined by the professor. But this is not the first time that this type of things are happening with our business world. It goes hand in hand with civilization. Although now pace is very fast, impact is very deep. That's why it is a matter of concern to all of us. Let me begin with a simple truth. Disruption is not an event. It is a condition of modern life. It is bound to happen, only we have to make ourselves careful, clear, and what to do. So that's why the real question before us is not whether disruption will come. It is bound to come. But how would we prepare our minds, institutions, and values when it comes? How do we behave? How do we react? What type of actions we want to take? When we speak of disruptive technologies, what comes in our mind? Like in 21st century and in 2026, few things immediately comes in our mind. First is artificial intelligence. Second is digital world, automation, digital platforms, IoTs, they are becoming the disruptive technologies. But disruptive technology is best understood through human stories of choice, hesitation, courage, and fear. When a thing which will come after a few years, but how do we react? Whether we are scared or we want to take it with courage, conviction, that is our choice, the choice of the leaders. I would like to quote Shoaib Damohi. He has rightly said कि ये दौर है तकनीक का. He said ये दौर है तकनीक का, इस दौर में शोएब लड़ने के लिए सामने लश्कर नहीं आते. लड़ने के लिए सामने लश्कर नहीं आते. We have seen this in war technology also. Everything has changed. If we want to fight a war based on the instruments of 20th century, we will not be able to survive for 2, 3, 4 days in the war. Second, very important story of Nokia. I don't know how many of you has used mobile phones of Nokia. Like the people of my generation must have used the mobile phones of Nokia. There was and my dear students, you may not have used but you must have heard the name Nokia. There was a time not very long ago when Nokia was not just a market leader. It was symbol of mobile communication. Proud of Finland, a Finnish company, proud of Finland, was giving jobs to thousands of Finland citizens, engineers, scholars. dominated mobile phone market in the decade of 1990 and 2000. Known for durable, iconic, stable devices like 3310, that was the very popular mobile. And from 1998 to 2007, they were at peak, having 40% of the market share. Nothing was wrong with Nokia. But in 2007, their fall started in 2007. Finished everything is 2013. Within a couple of years, 2007 to 2013, Nokia became zero. Why? First was the launch of iPhone in 2007 and rise of Android exposed Nokia's slow response to software-based touchscreens and smart devices. New things were coming. Nokia had the best hardware engineers of those days. Nokia had the best scholars of those days in the company. They were the market leaders and they were having arrogance and pride also. Nothing wrong in it. It happens most of the time with the companies, with the people, with the organizations. Early access to smartphone technology also. Deep market insight also. They were market leaders. And yet it failed to anticipate one crucial shift. Not technological but cultural. Nokia believed phones were about hardware efficiency only. They thought we are providing quality, reliable mobile phones. Our customers are very happy. A robust phone. However, word moved towards software ecosystem and user experiences, which iPhone provided in those days. They conducted internal review ki what happened. And they revealed a very painful truth, outcome of the internal review of the Nokia. We knew change was needed. Conclusion was we knew change was needed. But we were afraid to accept it. They could anticipate, but they decided not to act. Organizations rarely fail because they do not see disruption. No. They fail because they do not act on what they see. When Apple launched iPhone, it did not introduce a new device, but it redefined the idea of a phone. Totally different. Apple disrupted industries. It did not originally belong to disrupted music, payments, photography. We all have seen this in our lifetime. Only in 5 years. 2007 to 2013. 3 to 5 years. 5-6 years. Then why is very important? Why it had happened? किसी ने बहुत अच्छा कहा है, मैं कोट करूंगा कि कुछ कश्तियां डूबी हैं अपने सुराखों की वजह से भी. Mindset of the leadership of the Nokia in those days. कि कुछ कश्तियां डूबी हैं अपने सुराखों की वजह से भी. यूं हर बार इल्जाम तूफानों पर न लगाया करो. कुछ कश्तियां डूबी हैं अपने सुराखों की वजह से भी. यूं हर बार इल्जाम तूफानों पर न लगाया करो. Blame game. And how many of you know Blockbuster? नाम सुना होगा Blockbuster? Once a global giant. It was a DVD rental company. Dominant American video rental chain founded by David Cook in 1985 in Dallas. They were very comfortable doing a good business. They achieved peak in 2004. Operated over 9,000 stores globally. Business was to provide DVDs. And they were also planning to provide that facility through email also. Like they were using technology. And in those days, Netflix was in a big trouble. They were on the verge of collapse. So they decided to approach because they were also in rental business only, DVD rental business, a small company. They approached Blockbuster, and they said, please collaborate with us. We want partnership. Blockbuster laughed it off. अरे आपसे कौन करेगा? We are very comfortable. We are the leaders of the market. They decided not to collaborate with Netflix. तो Netflix का जो प्रॉब्लम है वो अपनी जगह था ही, but they ignore the market, the digital streaming. Why? Because Blockbuster was protecting its existing success. ये भी बड़ा रिस्की मामला है. They were protecting its existing success, not preparing for future relevance. They ignore live streaming, digital streaming. Netflix opted for it. आज ब्लॉकबस्टर कहीं भी नहीं है. Netflix हर घर में. Not only in US but in India also, in most of the countries, Netflix is there. So they anticipated, decided, acted, and prepared a new business model for the company. This is a success story. My dear students, here the important management lesson for all of us. Resilience is not about, second word जो आपका है, resilience is not about defending today's revenue. It's not about defending, आज तो हम comfortable हैं ही हैं. Market is good, everything is good. It is about safeguarding tomorrow's relevance also. Are we be relevant tomorrow? That's why we should be very vigilant. Across Nokia, Netflix and Apple, one pattern is very clear. Disruption tests leadership courage, institutional culture, willingness to let go. Technology only accelerates the outcome. Technology only accelerates, जो परसों होना था आज हो जाएगा. Technology only accelerates the option. It doesn't decide them. We decide. Nokia teaches us humility. Netflix teaches us agility. Apple teaches us the purpose. They change the purpose of the mobile phone. So disruption does not defeat organizations, but complacency does. Another example is the Kodak. वो एक अलग ही एग्जाम्पल है. Dominated global photography market, doing very good. They also invented the digital camera also. But they were so sure, they were so consumed about their success. Invented digital camera, yet it failed not because it lacked technology, but because it lacked the courage to disrupt its own business model. अपना business model को change करना मतलब उसके लिए बहुत courage चाहिए. You will have opposition. So you should have conviction to do it. But this conviction, only leadership can provide this conviction. Conviction and courage. That's why the most important aspect is the top leadership of any organization for any success. Leaders should have conviction, courage. Otherwise, very, very difficult to change the existing systems, processes. So resilience is the capacity to adapt, reimagine, and sometimes abandon what once made us successful. Not easy, but this is the management lesson. Management school should focus on this. Netflix was also a DVD company. And what happened now, they took a right decision. So it is not technological brilliance. Technology was available to everyone. But it was the leadership clarity, courage. So everyone, every company, every student, every teacher should recognize the power of innovation. Sooner we recognize, better it is for us. Better it is for organization. Better it is for the country. We have seen so many technologies coming from nowhere and changing the centuries-old concepts and business processes. Uber, Airburn, IBM, Watson, ChatGPT, AI agents. How to prepare the mindset which accept the change and courage to take right decision at right time. Not easy, but somewhere we have to teach in our classrooms. I would like to quote another couplet of Bashir Badr. He said, कई मील रेत को काटकर कोई मौज फूल खिला गई. एटीट्यूड कि कई मील रेत को काटकर कोई मौज फूल खिला गई, कोई पेड़ प्यास से मर रहा है नदी के पास खड़ा हुआ. इफ यू डोंट एक्ट, कोई पेड़ प्यास से मर रहा है नदी के पास खड़ा हुआ. लेट अस टॉक अबाउट आवर होम पिच नाउ. So what is happening in India? Even if for a moment we keep our achievements aside, our achievements are phenomenal achievements. Billion plus Aadhaar enrollments, UPI crossing 10 to 16 billion monthly transactions, open network for digital commerce, and other such commendable results India has already achieved. All these achievements by India are table stakes now. Not only for us, for the other markets also. In India, something extraordinary has happened. India's disruption remains distinctly stake-driven, not app-driven or driven by one giant corporation. No, it has not happened in India. It is not happening in India. And what matters in 2026 is how this stack has evolved from fundamental rails into a systematic shock absorber and increasingly a competitive multiplier for Indian firms across scales. It's an interplay of three interlocking layers. One is near universal mass connectivity. We have done it. Second is open digital public infrastructure rails. Aadhaar for identity, UPI for settlement, accounts aggregator for consented data flows, DigiLocker for attestations, and ONDC for discovery and commerce. Functions as public, non-proprietary highways. They removed fixed cost, and that have been a barrier to scale, which means no need to build your own KYC engine for everyone, every company. Payment gateways and data consent framework from scratch. And automation and intelligence layer, which is also AI and ML workflows, predictive analysis, agentic systems. We are moving from reactive digitization to anticipatory adaptive operations. For Indian business, the question is not whether stake reshapes operations and shock response. It is already doing so measurably at population scale, because we are 40 crore people. Our scale is very different from other countries. It is our strength. We should take it as our strength only. The question is, in a world of rising volatility, geo-economic fragmentation, climate shock, technological acceleration, how quickly can firms internalize these rails into core strategies, and how decisively can India leverage this unique national asset to redefine global competitiveness? Now, in higher education institutions, where degree of complacency is higher than the industry, in our higher education institutions, degree of complacency is higher than the industries. We are also very comfortable in our zones. So when FMS is organizing this conference, we should also understand what is happening in the education field. Students are saying classrooms are boring. My dear teachers, are we ready to change? We may not become irrelevant after a few years. Our challenges are not different than the industry challenges. We have to research, we have to innovate new teaching pedagogies. Flipped classroom is one concept. There may be hundreds of such concepts. Now, this blackboard teaching may be relevant in some subjects, but in most of the subjects, it is not that relevant now. Information is already available to students. Are we able to? Now, everyone is talking about project-based teaching. But what is the meaning of project-based teaching? Now, at least we are talking about it. How to implement, how to come out of rote learning. These are the challenges. Technology is there. Although many education technology edtech companies, they have given models, but they were very unethical. That's why they could not survive. Few of them could not survive due to one reason or other. but see the technology innovations. We should learn lessons from them. If we do not, then who will? It's a challenge for teachers and students and management students, because you should realize this change earlier than others. That's why re-engineer curricula for frontier technologies and resilience first strategies. You are producing leaders, you are producing managers, then their mindset is very important. But the processes, strategies of any academic institutions, are we ready for this change? Accept this change. If artificial intelligence is disturbing them, it is also disturbing us also. A PPT can be prepared in 5 minutes. Assignments can be made in few minutes. And quality assignments. How to address that? Quality assignments. So new ways are required. And in this conference, if some of you can think of something which is required in higher education institutions. Disruption is not a threat. Unpreparedness is. The true measure of progress will not be how quickly we adopt new tools, but how wisely we design systems that endure volatility, distribute opportunities, and sustain trust. Like for teachers, I would like to again say, my dear faculty members, please remember, nothing succeeds like success. आपके भी सिस्टम अच्छे हैं, यू आर वन ऑफ द बेस्ट इंस्टीट्यूशन, तो उसी में मत रह जाना कि आपका भी कोई कंपनी बन जाए दूसरी तरह की. What happened with Blockbuster? What happened? Because it is very difficult to review their own systems. But time has come. We have to think, rethink. A new model should be developed so that not only we should follow with conviction, but others should also follow us. So for students also, nothing succeeds like success. Otherwise, क्या होता है? I would like to quote lastly, I would like to end with the nothing succeeds like success. Few lines of the poem of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. कि टूटे हुए सपनों की सुने कौन सिसकी. ध्यान से सुनना. टूटे हुए सपनों की सुने कौन सिसकी, अंतर की चीर व्यथा पलकों पर ठिठकी. अब हार गए तो कौन सुनेगा आपको? आपकी बात भी नहीं आएगी, आपके यहीं तक रह जाएगी मुंह तक. कि टूटे हुए सपनों की सुने कौन सिसकी, अंतर की चीर व्यथा पलकों पर ठिठकी. हार नहीं मानूंगा, रार नहीं ठानूंगा, काल के कपाल पर लिखता मिटाता हूं, गीत नया गाता हूं, गीत नया गाता हूं. ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर द कॉन्फ्रेंस. थैंक यू वेरी मच.